Hey everybody, this is Laurie. I'm a nature instructor with the City of Raleigh, and this morning I'm out here at Lake Lynn Park, and I'm going to be checking out a really interesting habitat. Now you might remember that a habitat is a place where an animal makes its home. It's got to provide some things for that animal, such as food, water, shelter, and some space. So there's all kinds of habitats here at Lake Lynn Park. We've got the big lake itself, and we've got things like this beautiful creek back here. All kinds of creatures probably live in this creek. But today we're going to be focusing on a habitat that comes from a tree. Now trees begin life, or spend their lives rather, as tall plants. They grow very tall, but every now and then they get old, or a storm comes through and they fall down to the ground. Now you might think that's just a dead thing lying on the ground, but it's actually a very important new habitat for certain kinds of creatures. So we're going to go check out some logs, and we're going to find out what kinds of living things are underneath those very special log habitats. So this log looks like a great size for rolling over and peeking under. Maybe you can find one of your very own in your backyard or in a park that is close to where you live. So I'm going to show you now how to do it safely. What I'm going to do is get my body behind it, and I want to roll the log towards me. That way, if there's anything under there that needs to escape, it can move away from my body. So I'm just going to place my hands on it, very carefully roll it towards me, and I'm going to be looking under it to see what might be there. I see some insects. I see lots of holes in this really soft wood where creatures have been living. Sometimes you don't find much of anything, but sometimes you get lucky. So here's another log I'm going to try and roll over. This one's really pretty soft. I can tell it's been lying on the forest floor for a long time. Lots of organisms that are decomposers have been in here, and they're helping to return all of those wonderful nutrients back to the forest. So I'm going to roll it over, and it's actually so soft it's starting to fall apart. I can see some wonderful white fungus in there. And this log is well on its way to becoming soil again. Here's another log that I have rolled back. This one is quite a bit harder than the other one I was looking at. It has a long way to go before it becomes soil. But look what I found living underneath. Earthworm. So this shy animal likes the log habitat, gives it a place to hide in a dark place so that it can stay out of the sun. Wow, we've got another creature here with no legs. This is a new one to me. This is called a hammerhead flatworm. It's a kind of planarian. It's actually an invasive species that eats earthworms. So I also found these two under this log, and they are both millipedes. But you can see they look very different. This one, his body is a little bit flatter, and he's black and yellow. And then this one is quite a bit longer. Both of them have many, many legs. This log makes a good habitat for them because they can find all kinds of rotting plants under there to eat. Oh wow, look at this. A slug has laid her eggs. Oh, look at these amazing critters. Both of these are creatures that have no legs. They're invertebrates, they don't have a backbone. We've got a snail crawling along carrying its shell on its back, and then in my hand here is a slug. This might be the slug that laid her eggs. You can see they both have tentacles on their head with eyes on the end, and they creep along and leave a slime trail behind them as they go. Super cool. All right, some of the creatures we find do have legs. There's an ant. Wonderful. It's got 6 legs. It's an insect. Here's another kind of insect. Beetle. Wow, so these guys might eat some of the wood on the log. They might use it as a safe place to rest or lay some eggs. Usually animals like to be under logs because it's cooler, darker, damper under there. They're getting away from the heat of the sun. Wow, look at this. It's a little brown snake. It's a very small snake. It won't ever get much bigger than this. It's a little insect eater. It might use a log as a safe place to spend the winter. Well, once you finish studying all those wonderful creatures that you found living under a log, you're going to want to put them back safely. And the best way to do that is to go back to the log where you found them, make sure the log is where it was, and then you're going to want to release those creatures right next to the log and let them crawl under on their own. That way you don't accidentally squish them by rolling the log on top of them. I hope you've had fun today learning about life under a log. I'm Laurie with City of Raleigh Nature Programs, and remember, put on your shoes, head outside and go make some discoveries in nature. I'll see you soon.